guys, it's Kelly from Cards by Christine here with you on a Paper Pumpkin Thursday. It's a beautiful Thursday evening. We are going to be doing the January Paper Pumpkin kit, which is lovely lavender. So very excited. Haven't even snuck a peek at it. So I have no clue what we're getting into. So it is going to be fun, that's for sure. I am going to check to make sure that I am live in all the right places. So bear with me while I do that. Okay. The only thing I do here we go. All right, so we are good. All right, so how has everybody been? It's been a hot minute since we've seen. Hello, okay, here come the comments. That's great. Okay, so we've got hello, Melanie and Susan. So nice to see both of you. Thank you for tuning in, especially right on time. I remember when I saw the sneak peek, because I create the cover photos, I was like, ooh, that's a pretty one. And of course I love the lavender set, so I think it is going to be a fantastic paper pumpkin. I cannot wait to see what we're making today. So yeah, I'm excited. It's been a crazy chaotic month. I mean, it's been a month since I've been here doing a paper pumpkin, but we had the winter creative escape in the meantime, so I have been all over working on card stuff, and then Chris just got a whole batch of cards designed, so you'll be seeing announcements for the February classes coming up soon, which are very excited. Hello, Judy. Thank you so much for tuning in. So I got some cover photos done. I've got some watermarking to do. I have a wedding to go to tomorrow in Pewaukee, for those of you not in the Wisconsin area. It's about an hour and 15 minutes from here. It's the Milwaukee area. So I'm hopeful that I can knock some things out while I'm going with my parents. So while my parents are driving. It's a friend of mine from high school. She was a year younger than me, and we cheered together, and I'm so excited. I get together with all of my high school friends, which I actually, in December, went to Florida for this bachelorette party, the bachelorette party for this wedding. So that was a fantastic time, and I cannot wait to see my friends again. It's going to be so great. I do really want to be in Florida. When I went, it was the first weekend in December that the bachelorette party was. It was so rejuvenating and so refreshing, and I've been going through some mental health things and just hard things, and it was so needed, and I came back so clear-minded and refreshed and rejuvenated, and man, I could use another weekend like that. So sorry to say, of course, can't go to Florida every weekend or every month, or can't tell you the last time I've been in Florida, but it was beautiful. Hello to Sarah and Cheryl. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, it was great. And then of course, let's see here. When was I here last? I think it was right after Christmas. I would assume. But yeah, so for those of you that don't know, the Winter Creative Escape is a demonstrator event that is held here at the Hive. It is so much fun. It is built around the suites of the catalog at the time. So it was built around the suites of the Spring Mini catalog. So much inspiration from that catalog. Each of the displays were based on a different suite, and then there were swap cards, and it was 4 days of, well, one day was snowed out, unfortunately, but 4 continuous days of crafting and card making and inspiration with all of the lovely demonstrators that are part of Chris's network. It was so fun. So many fun projects, so many cute cards. And just to be a part of this community is just so uplifting. And, there have been so many people that have reached out to me and lifted me up, especially while I've been having some challenges. So it has just been so phenomenal. I love this community so much. I mean, I love making the cards, but I love the community just as much, if not more. So, all right. Well, I think I've probably jabbered on just about long enough. I don't have an attendance list for tonight, so we won't do the drawing for the winner. Chris is going to do that next week, Wednesday. So I just wanted to clue you in on that. Also, want to call out before I turn the camera down. I got new glasses. They're big, so I'm still getting used to them. These are actually my cheapy glasses. I bought them on iBuyDirect, and I love them because I love rainbows, if you can tell. So I love them so much. They're a little bigger on my face. You can virtually try them on, but of course it's an AI simulation, which is really good. It gave me a good sense of what they were going to look like, but they were a little bigger than I anticipated. But it is very trendy, and of course they're rainbow, so it doesn't they're not normal glasses to begin with, so it's okay that they're kind of big and out there. And I just love them. But I wanted to show you, I did also get from the optometrist. So I don't wear contacts. I haven't worn contacts in years and years and years. So I got that. The rainbow pair is kind of like my backup pair in case I break or lose these glasses. But these are my real glasses. I actually think I probably will end up wearing the rainbow glasses probably just as often as these. But we had a board meeting on Tuesday and I wore these instead of the rainbow glasses. I know I work at a children's museum, but these are just a little more normal. Formal maybe is the word I'm looking for. I love these glasses too. The only difference is, I like the size of these a little better than how big the rainbow ones are, but again, it doesn't really bother me. But these fit so tightly behind my ears, which is great. I actually intentionally bought glasses that have true nose pads because the last probably 5 pairs of glasses that I've gotten have been plastic, and they just fall off my face because they don't secure on my nose and secure as good on my ears. So it's good that they're holding so tight, but they hold a little too tight, and it's just, they are very narrow, and I have a narrow face, so I was surprised by that. So I get a little bit of, not quite a headache, but a little bit of pressure here. So I have been kind of switching back and forth between these. I just picked these up this week, and I got the rainbow ones about a week before. So yeah, I love both of them so incredibly much. And I'm happy with both of them, but the rainbow ones definitely fit my personality. So I will be wearing them tonight. It's fun to have options. Yes, absolutely. And Mary, like I said, I work at a children's museum, so it's not uncalled for me to have rainbow glasses. Actually, one of the first people I worked with at the Children's Museum had rainbow glasses. They were different than this, but I thought it was so cool that she had rainbow glasses. And so now I found some of my own and I love it. So yeah, anyways, wanted to show off my glasses and talk about them because they make me very happy. And now we are going to dive into the kit. So let's see what we have for tonight. All right, so we've got a normal box this time. Okay. Ooh. Fighting me back. Okay, so now okay, so we've got a sprig, we have a large scripty love, Just a little something for you and happy Valentine's Day. Those are the stamps that come with. We have Gorgeous Grape as our Stampin' Spot. And then on the inside, okay, so can we stay organized today? That is the question. Ooh, beautiful. Got your kit today, woohoo! That is exciting. So please let me know, are you kidding along with me today? Are you just watching? Do you subscribe to Paper Pumpkin? Or what is your appetite for Paper Pumpkin as you watch tonight? Okay, so let's get that open. Ooh, like it. It is gorgeous. Okay, so it looks like we are making 4 each of 2 different designs of cards and a set of 4 tags. So, whoa. Okay, so I'm assuming this is an insert for in a stamp box for you to house your stamps in. Not positive. If anyone has any more information about this, just let me know. But that's new. Okay. Susan is just watching. Well, thank you so much, Susan, for joining in. I appreciate your company tonight. Okay, so then we've got some laser cuts. 2 sheets, 2 sheets of this kind. And 4 sheets of that kind. Got some glue dots. Got some banners. Ooh, playing along. Woohoo, Lynn, you are courageous. Okay, these are like DSP strips. Then we've got some card bases. So we've got this, ooh. All right, so coordinating colors. Berry Burst, Crushed Curry, Garden Green, Gorgeous Grape, Highland Heather, Lost Lagoon, and Pretty Peacock. Well, I was expecting one of them to say what this tan is, which I'm guessing is crumb cake. But, so I always like to look at the back where they show a lay flat of all of the contents of the kit. Then it says contains supplies for 8 cards, 8 envelopes, and 4 tags, and then the coordinating Stampin' Up! Colors are listed on the bottom. So that's helpful, especially as we move into the alternative. But this color was listed, so I'm guessing it's somewhat of a crumb cake. Okay, a couple more. Ooh, these are gorgeous. So these are laser cut, but they also have a metallic edging. It's like a lavender metallic edge, so that's cool. Whoa! Okay, so this is front and back of a card. Obviously, very different themes here. And then, whoa, that's pretty, oh, cool. So, we're gonna pop the tag out of the inside of this card mat. Boom. That was efficient. Oh, Judy, thank you. So Stampin' Up! No longer prints the stamped images on the acetate sheet, so they give you the printed image as a reference instead. Good catch. I didn't recognize that. Thank you for pointing that out. Okay, and then we have 8 envelopes with the 2 different designs. So beautiful. Lots of dimensionals and twine as well. Lots of things to play with tonight. So I am going to punch some things out to clean things up a little bit because there's never enough room. We always know that we don't have enough room whenever we're crafting. Okay, so I'm going to punch these out as well. So how is everyone's new year kicking off? I cannot believe we are almost through January already. My son's birthday is January 30th, so right there at the end. My brother's birthday is the 31st, so kind of pack it all into the end of the month. So he is very excited. He's going to be turning 6 years old. Oh, okay. So I was just reading Debbie Caras's comment. Okay. So love the new sneak peek at monthly kits so that we can know ahead of time what will we be getting. I like the cards, not the treat boxes. I can understand that for sure. December and January, just beautiful. Watching from Door County. Debbie, Door County is one of my favorite places on this whole entire earth. A lot of fond memories in Door County. And I try to go there once a year. I had a longtime family friend. She was 97 or 8 when she passed away, so it was sad but expected. She was a friend of my grandma, which, funny, Chris always has this picture up here. So now this is a picture of Chris and her brother Tom. Oh, so my fingers are backwards, and that's Tom. And then her grandparents from her mom's side and her grandparents from her dad's side. Wow, everything is backwards. So this is my grandma, Virginia, and Chris's grandma as well. Virginia and Elmer were snowbirds in Florida, and they went to a trailer park in Ruskin where they met another couple, which was Virginia and Russell and Virginia Hansen. And they were from Ellison Bay, Wisconsin, and they met in Florida. So we became close family friends, and I visited Virginia dozens of times over the years. She actually was an honorary bridesmaid in my wedding, and it was just, she was a beautiful soul. I love her. I still do deeply. I think of her often. So Door County holds an absolutely special place in my heart. So Debbie, can you share with me where in Door County you are from? Sorry, long-winded story that teed me up to that question. Okay, so I'm going to put the card bases to the side. I'll put the adhesives together. I do too, Judy. The colors are amazing. It's funny, I'm wearing a rainbow and I have rainbow glasses. So no one is going to be surprised when I say that my favorite color is rainbow. I have struggled for a long time with the question what my favorite color was. For a long time, it was blue, and for a little bit it was pink, and then for a while it was orange. And then I kind of lended to yellow, but it's like I have hues of yellow that I don't like, same with orange. So I love a lot of colors, and I love the gradient of a rainbow. So I switched my answer to not an answer, that my favorite color is rainbow. But purple has really been schmoozing me over recently. So, I mean, nothing's ever going to beat out rainbow. That's going to be my default answer for the rest of my life. But purple is kind of taken a little bit of a primary place there. Okay. Normally I don't punch all these pieces out, but I'm feeling putsy tonight. Okay, and I need to take a drink. So yeah, I cannot believe how fast the month has gone by. We are looking at the end of January already, which is simply unbelievable. I am looking at a 6-year-old, which is also unbelievable. Zachary was born in 2018, and he, of course, is turning 6 this year. He lost his first 2 teeth over the last month. That was a very traumatic experience of sorts. He held on to them like grim death. He did not want to lose his teeth. And once the first one was out, that did not make the second one coming out any easier. So that has been fun. And honestly, I think maybe it was right before the last Paper Pumpkin, because I feel like I did talk about this the last time. Loose teeth give me the heebie-jeebies, and so I was not the brave knight egging him on to pull it out and stuff, but we did it, and the Tooth Fairy came, that was all fun and exciting, and Tooth Fairy needs to get a little better at doing her job, because both times it was done in the morning. Once before he woke up, the second time was more of a, why is there nothing under my pillow? And it was a, we are going to play catch up kind of thing. But I will say this. Tooth Fairy is special. She's a special lady. And at our house, the Tooth Fairy brings dollars that have Wink of Stella on them. And that is just like magic encapsulated. And I would absolutely advise anyone who knows the Tooth Fairy to let the Tooth Fairy know that Stella makes finding a dollar under your pillow just so magical. I Stellaed that bad boy out. She was sparkling, oh no, for days. Okay, so some of our die images are falling all over the place. Watching from Sturgeon Bay. Oh, that's great. Obviously, Sturgeon Bay is the way to get anywhere in Door County, so been through many times. Don't usually do much in Sturgeon Bay, especially because our friend was all the way up in Ellison Bay, so that's got quite a ways to truck after Sturgeon Bay yet to get to the top. So, but every inch of Door County is absolutely beautiful, so I love it all. I've got my routine places that I always need to and love to go, and then every once in a while try out something new, maybe based on a recommendation of somebody, but Door County has my heart for sure. Hi, Karen. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so glad you're here with us tonight. Another Wisconsin gal. Close, real close to home. Okay, so, oh, this is all connected. All sorts of lavender pieces. There are beautiful lavender farms up in Door County. I can't remember what city the one that's mainland is, but there's also a lavender field and business on Washington Island, but I have not been on Washington Island in quite a while, so I do want to put that back on my radar to hop on the ferry and get over to Washington Island one of these next times I go up. Okay, so we are just about done punching all of the pieces out. Okay, perfect. Now I have things everywhere. All right, let's see what we got. Now, if you are an avid watcher, you've heard this about a million times. But first time you subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, you do get an acrylic black. And because every month you get a Stampin' Spot, these kits are fully contained. So you do not need to own any stamping supplies to be able to complete your stamping or your Paper Pumpkin kits. Now, if you have access to more supplies, like I do, I bring in my own black. So this is a D size black. The black that comes in the kit is also a D size black. It is a little thinner, and the black that is sold in the catalog has rounded edges, so it's much more ergonomic to hold on to. So I opt to bring in my own black, but if you do not have any additional supplies, worry not. You have everything you need to do what you need to do. Also, little disclaimer on the pads. Stampin' Spot is a small, basically like an inch by an inch fabric pad. I always bring in my classic Stampin' pad because it is much larger for stamping, and it also is a foam pad, and I prefer to stamp on foam than fabric. Every stamp that comes with your paper pumpkin kit is guaranteed to fit on a D block, and they guarantee not to duplicate colors in a 12-month time span. So great way to build up your color collection through paper pumpkin as well. All right, let's stop jibber jabbering and let's get started. So the first project we're doing is the tag. Well, that is easy. So as we have pointed out, we punch out the tag from the mat of the card. Then we're going to bring in one of our oval pieces, and just a little something for you is the sentiment that we're going to use. I'll mount that on our block. I do like to stamp it onto something when it's a new playing stamp, because I feel like they are sticky, and once you've gotten a little bit of that stickiness off, it seems to stamp a little better. I don't know if there's any truth or science to that. That is just my personal preference. Okay, open up your stamp pad. Go ahead and tap it on. Get it nice and centered on your banner. And then press down with firm, even pressure. Let it marinate for a little bit and then lift it up. So that was a little crooked. See? Happens to the best of us. So not terrible, but you can tell that that's a little whoop, crooked, tilty. So I'm gonna flip that over and give it a second shot. If it's not any better, well, didn't lose anything. Okay. All right. Okay, I would say that's better. And because it is not like super that noticeable, I am also going to take a pen, just X through the one that I don't want to use so that I don't like accidentally just grab the wrong side and whatever. Okay, so then I'm gonna bring in my chamois and go ahead and clean off my stamp and mount it back on my acetate, because I have lost stamps before and you just never know where you find them. They stick to everything. Okay, so then we are going to put dimensionals on the back of this. No, the back is the side with the X through it. And then we are going to put either glue dots or I might bring in my liquid glue again. That is just my personal preference. That is on the back of one of these lighter green sprigs. And then we also need 12 inches of twine. You'll see that conveniently there is a ruler on the side of your instruction manual. So go ahead and get out your twine. And you can, finding the start of these is always the hardest part. So let's see if we can figure out where that is. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, there it is. Okay, so pull it along. So each page is 6 inches. So it's the length of 2 pages of our booklet here. Give it a snip. And then pull your ribbon off to the side. Okay, so we are going to adhere. So I am going to go ahead and use liquid glue. It's just more my style. First of all, I'm not a huge fan of glue dots, but again, this kit is fully contained, so you don't need to worry about. So I'm gonna grab the ones that I don't want to put adhesive on because they're falling off the edge, and I'm gonna hold them so that I don't accidentally glue them. But it does show you where they would advise you to put 3 glue dots, which do come with the kit. So fear not, you can kit away without having all the supplies, but I just prefer liquid glue as an adhesive. I have long nails and I kind of struggle with the backs of like getting them off of the acetate, and even with the take or pick tool, they're just not my favorite. So I struggle with that, so I always tend to use liquid glue if and when I can. Then we're gonna go ahead and put the sentiment. Now, the sentiment looks like it is hanging off the left edge just a smidgen. So something like that, and then we're going to go ahead and take our twine. We're going to fold it in half at 6 inches, put it through the hole, and then tuck the tails. So there we have a beautiful tag. Just a little something for you. I love it. Okay, so let's put that to the side, and it is time to make some cards. Okay, so first, holy my Lanta. Okay, so we need the piece that we just punched the tag out of, and we need the, what I'm guessing is crumb cake card base. There is a lot going on here. Okay, so we're gonna flip this over. First, we're gonna grab the two, oh, there are more than, okay. The two pieces that have flat bottoms. So there is a greenery piece with a flat bottom, and there is a lavender piece with a flat bottom. It looks like we are going to adhere the greenery piece to the back of the lavender piece. And it looks like they've got the same size bases, so they just kind of nest on top of each other. So that's easy peasy. And then it looks like we are going to put some adhesive on the bottom of the lavender piece, and we are going to pop this out of the window. Now, by my calculations, we're trying to get all the leaf-furry through here. It's a very technical term. And it looks like this sprig of lavender is kind of the basis for where we're setting it. So like, it seems to be very centered along the bottom, and just enough that this sprig of lavender can shoot up and out, so it pops out of the card. And that is so stinking beautiful. Love it. Okay, then we are going to go ahead and flip that bad boy back over and put plenty of dimensionals, because this is going to be a full card mat, and so that's going to have a lot of weight to it. So one of my absolute favorite things about Paper Pumpkin is that there is no guesswork. I do not do well with random. I very much struggle with random placement of like embellishments and stuff like that. So it is great that they illustrate where like the glue dots, even though I don't opt to use glue dots and I use liquid glue instead, and the dimensionals. It is so great that they show that. And then when they do include embellishments, they also show you where they suggest the embellishments should go. And of course, these kits are 100% open to interpretation, so you don't need to do anything the way that they show it. But for me, someone who struggles with things like that, it is just kind of like one less thing to think about. Paper Pumpkin makes it extremely easy to make beautiful cards, usually cards, not always cards, but usually cards, without a lot of brain power and without a lot of need for supplies. Okay, so now it looks like this is a full front, not even a mat. So we need to line the corners up perfectly. And that is just so pretty. So it's gonna be really hard to show this on the screen, but the elevation of this being popped up with dimensionals and then each of these loose flowers popping out is so pretty. It is gorgeous. Okay, so then we're gonna put that to the side and we're going to grab our rectangle. We are going to grab our stamp that says Happy Valentine's Day, put it on our block, and then grab our stamp pad. Get some of that stickiness off. Okay, go ahead and center that. Beautiful. Might not be perfectly straight, but it is much straighter than the last one. And I may as well try one more time. I wonder if I have the stamp on a little crooked. That could be too. So with photopolymer stamps, you can curve them. And sometimes you don't actually want to curve them and you just accidentally give them a little bit of a curve. So that could be the case too. The first one really wasn't that bad. I like normally never need to restamp. I must not have a good eye tonight. I'm gonna hover over so you're gonna see my hair. I would say that one's straighter. See, tonight we're not necessarily going for straight, we're just going for straighter. Okay, we'll bring our chamois back out. And then put our stamp back and keep the card moving. Okay, so we are going to put 2 dimensionals on this bad boy. And then a glue dot. And here I am going to say, absolutely. Oh, hi, Emily. And yes, Judy, the struggle is real. I don't know why I have, normally I'm not that bad, but tonight I am really struggling on getting them straight. And that's okay. It's all part of the homemade feel and look of these cards. So normally I would say, nope, I don't use glue dots, but when you're working with a ribbon, glue dots are a good adhesive, or you can bring in tear and tape if you have it. Tear and tape is the same material as a glue dot, it's just got a little more surface area because it's a strip. So whatever you want. Again, I'm going to bring in the tear and tape just because I have access to it, but you would be absolutely fine with the glue dots that come with the kit. So we're going with 12 inches again, and then how they show it, I'm gonna kind of straighten it out because it's very, very wiggly from being on the spool. Okay, so how they show, and I'm gonna peel the backing off the tear and tape, or if it's a glue dot, it's gonna be already unbacked. And we're gonna start at the left, make a loop, cross in the middle. Hello, thank you so much for joining. Make another loop, and then we'll have tails. Okay, so I'm gonna do that again because I was a little too generous with the first tail. So I'm gonna make the first tail a little shorter, and then I should have a little bit more room. for the rest. Okay, so when you flip it over, you can decide whether or not you like how that looks. It looks like we're going just like kind of hanging off. Okay, so I'm not a huge fan of how that is done, because to put it here, which is absolutely fine, I do think that is where it belongs, our sentiment is going to be on two different levels, if that makes sense. So you're sticking it onto the purple lavender sheet, which is already dimensionalized, so it's brought up 2 levels. And then the second dimensional is going to hit the tan, or the crumb cake, which is not dimensionalized, so now that's on 1 level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a second dimensional behind the right side, and then I'm going to take the dimensional backs off, and now they will be on the same level when I stick it down. So I'm going to kind of tuck it down in that corner. So minor detail, not that big of a deal, but that to me makes a difference. Okay, and speaking of Stella, we were talking about her earlier. I'm gonna go ahead and throw some Stella on. Let's see here. Oh no! Craftastrophe! Everything is a very delicate balance. So, everything has the opportunity to make an avalanche. Okay, so let's... Ooh, our Stella's running dry. So let's see if we can get anything out of her. Oh, I think it's time for a new Stella. These cards are so pretty, I agree. Now, unfortunately, I do not know whether or not there are any extra kits this month. It appears as though there may be. I'm not going to make promises, but please, if you are interested, you can reach out to Chris and she will know for sure if any of the kits that she has are spoken for or available. Okay, so I'm going to pretend like that's actually working, but there's like nothing left in this gal. Okay, so go ahead and Stella if you have and want to. And then boom, she's a beauty. Okay, so I'll add it to our pile of finished goods over here, and we will move on to our final card. Now, we are stamping with and the sprig. So with is going on this tiny little thing, which I'm sure is going to be super easy to make straight. And then our sprig is going on the white piece with the lavender foil. So let's go ahead and resituate ourselves. I'm going to start with the width. They are so pretty. I am so impressed with this kit. Okay, look at that. Third time's a charm. That one is straight, or straight enough. Then we're going to pop that one back and stamp the... Now, this one is going to fit best. Hello, Linda. Thank you so much for joining. This one is going to fit best at a diagonal. So that is how I'm going to mount that one. A little bit of that stickiness off. Okay, and then it looks like this is square. If it's not square, it's very close to square. So we are stamping it basically in the middle, cocking to the right, because we are going to put some foliage and lavender off to the left. So, whoa, got a little overzealous on the stamping here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that. Get all the extra ink off of there. Whoopsies. All right. Had a little bit of a shadow. I must have wiggled on the top there. So that was an oopsies. But that's okay. Again, handmade and made from the heart. Ha! So this will help me remember how they were on here. Okay, so I was like, how am I supposed to put this thing back on here? This goes there, and width goes up here. My goodness gracious. They could make this a little more challenging, couldn't they? Great. All right, so stamping is done, at least until we get to our alternative. Now, we are going to bring in the other card base. Grab your bone folder and give it a nice crease. Then, with 5 dimensionals, we are going to pop this bad boy up. Okay, so I just got the back, not the dimensional. Take the rest of the backs off. Now, center it on your card base. Okay, now we need 12 more inches of twine. This time we're making a bow. Okay, and we need 1 of each of the sprigs of individual lavender, and we need 1 of the green sprigs. Okay, so the green goes down first, and we've got a little bit of spillage off the side, so I'm going to grab this section of leaves, and the rest of them can have adhesive behind them. Okay. All right, then with our lavender, gonna run up the spine, and we're going to put the taller skein in between the far right 2 sprouts of leaves, and then the shorter one is going to couple up kind of onto that middle stem. Okay. All right, then we are going to make a bow with this. Now, Chris has a bow maker, so that's what I'm going to do. Hi, Deb. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you are doing wonderful. Okay, so this is not a fancy bow, so I probably very much could have made it without the bow maker, but the bow maker is just so much easier and takes 0 thinking and effort, so bow maker it is. Okay, then this is going to be adhered. Again, glue dot, I don't disagree there, because we are using a ribbon go ahead and pop a glue dot. They're saying down in this-ish area. Okay, now we're gonna put together the sentiment. So, with, strip, love. So the love is going to get adhered down, basically centered. So it looks like, I mean, it's a very bouncy font, but it looks like the L is just a hair up from the bottom. The O is like touching the bottom, and the V is hanging over the bottom just a little bit, just in case you wanted some reference there. Okay, the problem with liquid glue is that you do have the chance of some seeping out. That is a calculated risk that I take. I usually do pretty good not to over glue, because I do use liquid glue a lot, but I did get a little seepage, so I'm going to use my adhesive eraser to pull some of that off. And now there's no stickiness left. Okay, then we are going to use half of a dimensional on the back of the width. Now, I do not understand what they are trying to show here with the Stampin' Spot image. Either that is a mistake, or I am struggling to understand what they're trying to show us there. So sorry about that. I cannot help you understand that. If anyone has any advice as to what they're trying to show there, please let me know. So the width is going to be half on, half off, and it is going to go into the love. And straight, please. Then we are going to go ahead and put 3 dimensionals on the strip. And adhere it down here. She's a beauty. The whole thing's crooked, I think. Why are my eyes? Okay, so maybe it's the new glasses. The whole thing is crooked. So let's see if I think oh my good gracious. You guys, it is not my night. Okay, so I was able to pop that off. Now let's see if I can get that straighter. I don't know. Yeah, so up here I know the spots are showing you that you need to stamp, but I don't understand what this upside down graphic of the work of the front of the spot. I don't know. I could be misreading your reply as well. So, okay, so let's bring in all the beautiful creations we made tonight. And then we are going to make an alternative, and I've got a couple things kind of brewing in my mind. So, let me know, what was your favorite card or project? There's a tag too. I'm gonna take a drink and wait for some comments to come in before we get going on our alternative. Alrighty. So I'm gonna kind of just talk through where my brain goes when I open Paper Pumpkin packages for the alternative, because I have 2 completely different mentalities. If I or the community around me doesn't seem to be super into the kit. I try to use the kit in a way that makes the contents of the kit useful, even though the theme isn't something that we're crazy about. Of course, these are beautiful. So I would love, when I'm making an alternative, my idea is I want you to still be able to make the cards, but also make something else. I don't want to compromise the ability to make any of these cards to make an alternative. This one is pretty easy. I'm going to probably find a way to put this tag onto a card front, which, yeah, maybe, I don't know. It's just, that one is really kind of throwing me off. But anyways, so that this can be a card as well. So that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm not entirely sold on that, but I'm going to walk you through some of the other things that go through my mind when I'm making the cards so that you can be inspired to make your own alternative. Of course, you can make the same alternative I do. That would be wonderful. I'd be so happy if I inspired you. Last month, I cannot remember even what the kit was, but I remember someone, like shortly after, it was either the same night or the next day, cased the alternative that I made, and like it warmed my heart. I was so happy. They shared a picture of it on, I don't know, the Cards by Christine VIP page or something like that. So I got to see it. It was so cool. So I hope I inspire you to create something alternative with these ideas. And if you do, please do share them because I love to see that. Okay, so that being said, the other things that I have in mind when doing, like when I was opening, these are the things that I thought. So this card base is basically DSP. It's, you know, already cut, it's already scored. And honestly, the only thing that you get out of it is the peek behind of these few little dots. So you could easily use this in a different way, and I might actually do that, and just put this on a piece of crumb cake. It would not compromise the card almost at all. Yes, you wouldn't have the texture here and you wouldn't have the polka dots, but in my opinion, there's plenty of other texture and details that having it on a plain piece of crumb cake wouldn't compromise the card at all. Now, if you like how this looks, you could cut it in half and have it mounted to a piece of crumb cake or whisper white, and then still have the half here, then just mounted on that card. So you'd still get this exact same look, but it wouldn't have this on the back, which, to be honest with you, first of all, you don't ever display your cards like this. And second of all, I do think this is a little clashy. It's not bad. But it's a completely different kind of texture. This is all watercolor and purpley, and this is more crafty and, you know, the brown tones. So you could easily do either of those to spare some of this for an alternative or for something else. The other thing, now I know you're going to know where this is coming. Look at this. I don't understand this one bit. They are so starkly different. I'm so surprised that they put these two patterns together. And one of them's the back of the card. So yes, it is nice to have a pretty back, but it is nice, not necessary. So absolutely right away, I would trim these in half. Now, of course, this does bode very well with this. So, you know, I'd mount it on, well, let's see, what are coordinating colors here? I don't know that I would go with Gorgeous Grape. That might be a little bold, so I'd either do Gorgeous Grape or Highland Heather. Or, of course, you could do Basic White. That would not be a problem because this is a full card front, so you could just trim that off and tape it to a card front or a card base, and then you salvage this whole piece that is really unnecessary. Now, my frequent listeners know that I'm going here next. You also got 8 envelopes. And the envelopes are printed on the inside. They don't match, Deb. When I saw that, I was like, what is going on here? So it's printed on the inside, not completely on the inside. So this is white, but then this pattern does go all the way down. So basically, this is another piece of free DSP. Of course, up here, you're not going to want to use the part that has the gummed adhesive on it. But same with this one. You've got that beautiful watercolor imagery all the way down the back, not on this part, but all the way down this piece. So these are valuable pieces. My mentality on envelopes. Now, granted, I have a lot of extra spares to deal with from the cards over here that I don't need to do that. But my mentality on the envelopes is, you know, you're lucky enough if, I really, 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 really hate that this is the mentality that I live by, but you're lucky enough if someone keeps your card, they're not going to keep your envelope. Matching envelopes are great. I love them, but it kills me to waste that because, in my opinion, it's going through the post office, so it's probably going to get all dinged up and damaged anyways. And then someone's going to tear it open and recycle it, which is fine and great, but now you just lost all the potential that that envelope had because Stampin' Up! Gave us some beautiful envelopes. I like to repurpose them and use them for something on a card or for something else because just grab a basic white envelope and boom, it serves the same function. Okay, so, but with that being said, not for this project. So what I am going to do is I am going to take this, and because I am a frugal person and because I like to make things go as far as they can, I'm only going to use half of it. So now the person who makes this kit either can do, like I said, and use this behind there and then just mount it to a piece of crumb cake, or we can make a ton more alternatives. It doesn't really matter. Okay. Now, I am going to... Okay, so what I am going to do is I'm going to take the tag and make the tag into a card front. So I just need to figure out what else I want to do to make it look complete. So I think I'm gonna bring in some Highland Heather and basic white. I think I'm going to do a basic white card base. I don't know if either of those are appropriately sized. And a Highland Heather matte. My brain needs to work. Okay. All right, so let's see if any of these okay, that is 8.5, so now I need 5.5. Although I want it to be a vertical open card, so neither of these scraps are going to work. I am going to need a full piece, and instead I am going to cut at 5.5. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Cut at 4 1/4 and score at 5.5. Bringing the bone folder in here, get a nice crisp seal, nice burnish. Okay, so then I want to do a standard mat. I think I want to do a skinny mat. So let's, okay, 4 1/4 would be 4 1/8. I don't think it really matters here because this is just an abnormal piece of paper. And 5 3/8 should give us a beautiful skinny mat. And then we're going to cut this one down to 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so we already are leveling up this card just by adding some more layers to it. So I'm going to glue down the Highland Heather. As with the theme of the day, I can't get it straight. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and put dimensionals behind this. I think that's going to look nice, help give it a little something extra. When I put dimensionals behind a whole piece, I like to, like I kind of said on this one, not skimp out, because there's a lot of, you know, it's not heavy, but there's a lot of weight and surface area to suspend. So I want to make sure that it doesn't sag. And I did not, oh, I missed one. I was going to say, I did not do a very good job of spacing those out. Ah! Dimensional backs are everywhere. Okay. Now we're just going to get a real tiny peek of that Highland Heather, especially because of the dimensionals. And that's okay because there's a lot of, you know, purple on this tag that we've got, which is beautiful and I love it. Now, okay, so I have a feeling that this was as long as it was so that you could tie it to something. I mean, I want there to be some hanging off, but not this much. That is overkill. So I'm going to go ahead and back out and I'm going to cut it in half. Maybe. I'm going to cut one more piece of 6 inches. Thank you, Cindy. I'm loving it too. It's coming together pretty well. Okay, so let's see. 6 inches. Ooh. Now, I always do this when I don't plan ahead, which is always. I think of something I wanted to do after it's done, so you'll see that in just a second here. But we're going to go ahead and take that 6 inch, now fold it over, and it's going to be 3 inches, pop it through the hole. And now I think we're going to have more reasonable size wispies. I know some people love long wispies, and I sometimes really do too, but that was just too long. That was unnaturally long. Now, I have been in a vellum kick, so no one should be surprised that I am thinking of putting some vellum down here. That's a scrap, and I think it's just a hair too narrow. I would like something just a little thicker. And this is exactly what I need. Yeah, I don't know. Vellum was real big when I first got into card making, and some of you are gonna look at me and be like, you've been making cards for 5 years. You'd be surprised. Chris got into card making. Okay, so this is not quite 2 or roughly 2, but I have to cut where it, oh, stop. Slow your roll. Chris got into card making when I was in middle school or high school. Story time. And she would have parties, and my mom was very crafty, and I was a very crafty kid too. So we would come to Chris's Stampin' Up! Parties and make cards and stuff like that. Order supplies, of course, all that stuff. So I loved making cards. Like Chris said, dry embossing or heat embossing, heat embossing, got her hook, line, and sinker, and that's what sold her on card making. And that was a long time ago. And it's so funny because these things, just like fashion, go out of style and then come back. So heat embossing went away for a while, and now it's back to some degree. And same with vellum. Like, I mean, it has always existed, but it hasn't always been the like cool go-to thing to do for card making. Hi, Rosie. Thank you so much for joining. So it's funny because vellum, I don't know if other people are using it a lot, but like I have been using vellum a lot in a lot of my projects, if you may have noticed. And I don't know, it's like some of that vintage vibe coming back. And so yes, I have been card making for probably not quite 20 years, and definitely not consistently for 20 years. But I have been consistently doing lives with Chris at least for 2 years, and helping Chris out with her card making business for probably at least 4 or 5 years. So I've got a little bit under my belt. Okay, so I was gonna cut here, and then I remembered that's not what I'm doing. Am I related to Chris or just friends? What a great question. So if you watch the replay, you will notice earlier I brought in this photograph. Chris has this right in her filming station at all times. So this is, oh my gosh, this is backwards, sorry. This is Chris, and this is one of Chris's brothers, Tom. This is Chris's grandparents on her mother's side. And this is Chris's, oh Jesus, sorry. This is Chris's grandparents on her dad's side. Those are also my grandparents. So Chris's dad is my mom's oldest brother. So Chris and I are cousins. And she's known me my whole life because I am younger than her. But we have really, 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 really grown close over the last 5 years. For sure, with this card making, how closely we've worked together with card making. And it's funny, I mean, I've always known Chris and loved Chris and Janet, Chris's mom. Like I used to have sleepovers at Janet's house, and she's a phenomenal cook. Anyone that has come to any of the events knows that. And so like I have memories of Chris. Chris is a little older than me. So like we weren't in the same like cousins group or friend group. We have 20 some cousins. So she's part of a little bit of an older group, and I'm part of a little clan of my age. So it's not like we like did things, but it's so funny how we came together over the stamping, and like we're so close now. And she has really helped me out. I've been going through some stuff, and she's been, in lieu of stamping, obviously, she's been a great supporter and like has always been on my side, and we've worked together so collaboratively. But like, it's been great to kind of be able to, we have connected personally, but like just let her in on some things and say, I'm kind of struggling, I need your help. And she's just been great guidance, and it's been wonderful. She's a rock to all of us, but she's been a rock to me, especially at the end of last year and coming into this year. So yes, we are family, but we're definitely friends too. So anyways, okay, another thing that was a thing back in the day was tearing. And again, I don't know if anyone else thinks it's coming back, but I love the look of a torn edge, especially on vellum, because vellum, of course, is a see-through paper, but it gets that like white-ish edge. So now I need to see, okay, so this is the exact width that I need it to be. Okay, so I'm gonna put this vellum down, and I'm also going to dimensionalize this, and I'm going to take the 2 pieces of, oopsies, well, where'd my other piece of twine go? Right here. So if this vellum goes here, the sneaky thing about vellum is the adhesive. It is not easy to adhere because you can see the adhesive. So I'm going to use tear and tape under where the tag is going to cover it up, because then I can rest assured knowing that it's not going to be seen. Of course, it's going to leave the outer edge not adhered, which is okay. Especially by using tear and tape or glue dots, it won't get wrinkly or wiggly, warped. That's the word, warped, because you know, liquid glue is wet, so that kind of warps it a little bit. So the tear and tape, and actually you barely can even see the tear and tape, so that's great. Now, this is where I said I get ideas after I get things started, and now I'm going to have to figure out, I'm going to probably try to release some of these dimensionals. Not great. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to throw this guy in here to keep her open. I am going to grab some tear and tape. Now, if you're doing this before you had adhered it, so like if you're watching along to get an idea for an alternative, please do this before you adhere your front to your card. That would save a lot of headache. Okay, so go ahead. My suggestion is to put some tear and tape down on the back of this, about in those areas, and then I'm going to peel off. Oh, no, no, no. There goes my twine. Peel off the back without trying to bend it too much, because I don't want it to like completely warp. Okay, this is gonna be like a magic trick. I never have enough hands. Let's see here, how can I keep that open? Okay, so I'm going to butt up the 2 ends of the twine and kind of try to pull them so that they're straight. I'm gonna stick them to the piece of tear and tape and then flip it over. Now, where is this gonna go? I want it a little higher. You see how this would have been way better had I done it before I adhered it? That would just be nonsense. Why would we want to do it the easy way? Okay, and then I can't quite tell. I think I missed some of the tear and tape, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw down another piece. Sorry, I do not have enough hands for this. Okay, and then we're going to stick her back down on her dimensionals. And you never would have seen the journey of how difficult that didn't need to be if it wasn't live on camera for everyone to see. Oh, Lynn, I am so happy that you are enjoying this. Okay, so now I like this a lot. I do think I'm going to put this on dimensionals. I am going to go get some form of embellishments because I am so sad that there are not embellishments. What do we think of the vellum? So, you know, it's going to be definitely harder for you to see on camera. It's definitely noticeable in person. And it just, you know, the background is not boring because it's got some texture to it. It's got some, you know, the polka dots to it, which is great. But it just adds a little bit more to the card, especially going ahead and adding that twine as well. So give me a second. I'm going to go get some embellishments and I will be right back. Okay, so let's see what we've got for embellishments. You know, I don't do a great job of keeping up on what's current, so I don't know. Like, are the glossy dots still there? And even if they're not, of course, we can still use them, but okay. I was kind of envisioning purple embellishments are in the Perennial Lavender Suite. Of course they are. I don't know where all of the like current embellishments are. I just always go to the exact same spot and grab the stuff. So like these are probably way out of date, and my sincere apologies. So it does sound as though there is something current in purple, which is great. So if you do not have these, use those. Now, let's see. This is where, again, I struggle because now we're going to have to get random, and I'm not good at random. I'm trying to think of one other thing that I could do. And again, this is a thinking backwards thing, so I'm not going to be able to do this. But another idea for somebody who hasn't done this yet, I think it'd be very pretty to take a blending brush and blend some Highland Heather around the back. Okay, so before the vellum's down, before the twine's down, so this is why we can't do this, to take a blending brush and some Highland Heather just to give a little bit of a like vignette. So vignette is like shading the outside, so it'd be like a reverse vignette, to kind of give some texture and color and vibrancy to that. I'm not gonna do it because I don't want it on the vellum layer, and I will not take this apart. Not after what we just all went through. But another idea that you could try if you plan on making the alternative. Okay, so go ahead and grab the dimensional backs off of there. Okay, we're gonna put this on a little cockeyed. Oh, it's so cute. And then go ahead and put some purple embellishments. Think so. Rosie just said put 2 large ones and 1 small one. So actually there are 3 different sizes, which is great, but I think I'm gonna put 5. Don't mind this, but I think it needs a little more. I'm telling you, placing embellishments is like my downfall. I get very anxious about where the embellishments should go. That is why I love when Paper Pumpkin tells you exactly where they should go. If you can't tell, if you can't hear it in my voice, I have restless leg syndrome, so I jitter a lot, and this is making me anxious because I don't know where to put the embellishments. And my legs are just like twitching all over the place. So you can maybe hear it in my voice because it scatters my voice a little bit. Man, it might be good enough just like that, but what do you think? Does it need anything else? So I put 1, 2, and 3. Hi, Penny Powell. Thank you for joining us from Florida. I hope it is beautiful there. We are fortunate. We had very cold weather. Not that it's warm now, because it is still Wisconsin, but we're back up in the 30s, mid to upper 30s. So it has kind of felt like a heat wave after the bitter cold that we've had. So we're calling that a blessing, as crazy as that sounds. Just gonna wait a minute and see if anyone, okay, put one more, yes, yes, on the sentiment, okay. So sometimes I just need a little reassurance. And obviously there isn't a right or wrong answer here. I should not be getting so like anxious about this, but I just can't help it. Okay, so take your pick tool, let's go ahead. And I like, so they usually say to do embellishments in odd quantities. If you've never heard that, that is a thing. So, 3, 5, 7, 81 today feels like 88. Crazy. Was 32 last week. Holy man. So when I went in December, it was upper 70s, low 80s, and it was absolutely perfect. The day that it was overcast and the sun wasn't out, I mean, obviously I'm not complaining because, like, I live in Wisconsin, so that doesn't help. But the day that it was overcast and in the 70s, it wasn't cold, but, like, I have some sensory issues and my body reacts to temperatures very differently than most. And so, like, I was wearing a fleece over my swimsuit at the beach, which was fine. But, like, I had a chill because the sun wasn't out. And, but, like, seriously, the day that it was in the 80s and the sun was out, it was like, oh my gosh, I could live here. Okay, Cindy said, we hit 61 today. It feels like a heat wave and we'll enjoy the higher temps for the next few days. Tomorrow they're calling for 71. Oh, I could use 71. Okay, so I went ahead and did add 2 more dimensionals. So now we're up to 5. 5 is a nice odd number, great for dimensionals. I'm okay with where they're placed. They're maybe not perfect, but it's okay. So what do you think of the card? I seriously just took the label that we made and popped it on a card, so I don't have the label to show. So of course that is what the label looked like. That was one of the projects from the kit. We retrofitted it to make it into a card. So what do you think? Have you been inspired by any of my suggestions or ideas on what to do with the extras or how to create alternatives? Is anyone gonna dice up their envelopes? That's one of my favorite things to do. Yeah, just let me know what you think. We love your feedback. I'm happy with what we made tonight. I thought it was fun and I love the alternative. I like the opportunity to get an extra card out of the kit. Well, an extra set of 4 cards. I think there were 4 tags out of the kit. And then of course with all the other opportunities that I showed you, there's many, many, many more cards that you could make out of the pieces from the kit. So, just trying to pick up everything so that give you an opportunity to enjoy the cards and pick up so that it's not such a mess. Yay! Great idea to make a card with a label. You know, I don't put tags or labels on card or on gifts. It's funny, Santa doesn't either. So gift tags are great, especially if that's like your style, but it's just not me, and I would rather have more cards. Because, you know, hoarding is a real thing, and all crafters understand that. I'm kidding, but yeah, so I love the opportunity to make a card out of the tag, and I hope you get an opportunity to do something, and if you do, please share. Going to split the card in half and mount the other card bases. See, I just love that suggestion because, again, do what you want to do, but to me, this is wasted, And this is wasted and also like, yes, it does match that, but like just not right. And look at, we made, with just a couple of extra pieces of cardstock from my own personal supply, we were able to make a card for the tag, and we could make so many more cards out of this. This does coordinate with the lavender suite, lovely in lavender, or something like that. So if you want to make these cards, cut these extra pieces off. They would all coordinate with all the pieces from that suite, and you would have a very easy time recreating some of these elements to make beautiful cards. So let us see what you make, if you make anything. And that didn't switch, and it didn't again. There we go. Sorry about that. Because we love seeing your creations. We love knowing that we've inspired you, and we love crafting along with you. So thank you so much for joining us live tonight. I hope you have a wonderful Thursday evening and a great weekend ahead. And I share with you all the love, sunshine, and big hugs